Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist who spent his entire life trying to understand something that made no sense. Why the most honest, most self-aware, most grounded people were always the ones who made everyone around them the most uncomfortable. It usually goes something like this. Friday night, you're on the couch scrolling through Instagram when a photo appears. Your friends, the ones who would normally reach out, are all at a bar, beers on the table, everyone laughing, and you're not there. Nobody called you. You look at the photo again and start counting. Tom's there, Sarah's there, Jake's there, everyone's there, and nobody sent a single message. And what hurts isn't missing out. What hurts is how fast your brain starts building the case against you. What did I do? When did I mess up? Was there something I said last time that rubbed someone the wrong way? You replay it. You go back through the whole week in your head and you find nothing. You find nothing because there's nothing there. You didn't fight with anyone. You didn't offend anyone. You didn't do anything wrong. And that's exactly what makes it worse, because when someone dislikes you for something you did, at least you know what to fix. But when someone dislikes you without you having done a single thing wrong, what exactly are you supposed to fix? The real problem isn't what you did. The problem is what your presence makes other people feel about themselves. And that part you don't control. Today we're going to understand how that mechanism works. My name is Kobe, and I'm going to show you 3 signs that reveal when someone secretly dislikes you because of this mechanism, even if they'd never admit it. Let's go back to that Instagram photo. You're looking at those smiling faces, and your brain is doing the same thing it's been doing since you were 12 years old, looking for the fault. I talked too much. I came across as cold. I changed and people noticed. But what if there's no fault? What if the problem isn't anything you did, but something you've become? Think about it. Over the last few months, what's changed in your life? Maybe you've started saying no more often. Maybe you stopped laughing at jokes that aren't funny. Maybe you started working out, cut out a bad habit, or started taking yourself seriously in a way you didn't before. But you didn't make a big deal about it. You didn't post about it every week. You weren't lecturing anyone. You just changed quietly without any announcement. And that's exactly where the problem starts. Jung can explain what happens to the people around you. Every human being carries 2 versions of themselves. The first is the one you show the world, the polished version, polite, knows what to say, when to smile, what to swallow. Jung called this the persona, which in Latin literally means mask. And then there's everything that got left behind the mask. The anger you buried because expressing anger felt dangerous. The envy you never admitted because admitting envy is humiliating. The ambition you hid because too much ambition looks like greed. The fear of being ordinary, the fear of looking in the mirror and not liking what you see. Jung called this deposit the shadow, and the shadow isn't your dark side. It's simply everything you decided didn't fit the person you want to appear to be. It's your raw state, the one only you really know. You can ignore your shadow for your entire life, but it won't disappear. You can stack layer after layer of mask on top of it. You can spend 20, 30 years pretending it doesn't exist, but it will always be there waiting. And when someone shows up in another person's life without wearing any mask, showing their most authentic self, you know what happens? The other person's shadow wakes up. Not because you pointed a finger, not because you criticized anything, but because your presence works like a mirror. And that mirror shows the person everything they spent years trying not to see. And when someone looks at that mirror and doesn't like what they see, the brain has an automatic defense mechanism. It doesn't let the person think, I'm uncomfortable because this person shows me everything I've been avoiding in my own life. That would hurt too much. That would require too much honesty. So the brain does something simpler. It flips it. It takes all that discomfort, all that hidden shame, that buried envy, that unexamined fear, and converts it into one single conclusion. The problem is you. Suddenly, you're not someone who lives with honesty. You're arrogant. You're not someone who grew, you changed. You're not someone who says what they think. You're difficult, too intense. You think you're better than everyone. None of those accusations have anything to do with you. They're the reflection of a mirror they can't stand to look at. La Rochefoucauld, a French thinker from the 17th century, wrote a sentence that should be tattooed somewhere visible on everyone. We often say we hate someone to avoid admitting that we actually envy them. Now go back to that photo. Your friends at the bar, you at home. Is it possible they didn't invite you because you did something wrong? Or is it possible that the person you've become makes them uncomfortable with the person they're still choosing to be? But, and I need to be honest with you here, this explanation is dangerous because it's so comforting it can become a trap. If every time someone pulls away from you, you conclude it's their shadow, meaning the problem is theirs, not mine, you'll never hear real feedback again in your life, and that can do serious damage. So how do you tell the difference? How do you know when the distance is Jung's mirror working and when it's a real signal you need to pay attention to? There are 3 signs that will tell you when someone secretly dislikes you because of this mechanism. And the third one is the most unsettling. Sign 1, the pattern versus the episode. When someone pulls away from you because of their own shadow, they don't do it once. They do it gradually in silence. There's no fight, no confrontation. It's a slow erosion. Every time you show up being yourself, every time you make it visible that you're moving forward, the distance grows just a little. The replies get shorter. The invitations get rarer. And pay close attention to this part. It happens precisely at the moments when you're doing well, not when you're struggling. Have you noticed that when you're going through a rough time, everyone shows up? When you're growing, your phone goes quiet. That's not a coincidence. People who haven't dealt with their own shadow feel more comfortable around someone who's suffering, because in that moment, it means they're doing better than the other person. It's much easier for those people to be around others who are worse off. Now, what about when the distance isn't driven by the shadow? When there's nothing malicious or envy-driven about it? In that case, the distance happens in an episode. There's a cause. There's a context. Maybe there's a misunderstanding in the middle. Someone sits down with you and says, hey, something you said bothered me. There's a specific moment, a specific sentence, a specific story. Now you know if it's a slow, silent pattern with no cause, it's probably the mirror. If it's a specific episode with cause and context, it's probably someone who actually cares about you. And in that case, that person deserves your full attention. Sign 2, the direction of the movement. This one is subtle, but it's the most revealing. Think about the people who pulled away from you in recent years. Now ask yourself, where did they go? Did they go upward? Did they go after something better? Or are they still in the same place, choosing comfort, going back to a routine that doesn't demand anything from them? When someone pulls away from you and moves toward becoming better, as hard as that is to hear, listen to that person. They might be showing you something you're not seeing, but when someone pulls away from you and moves toward more comfort, don't take that as feedback, because they're not moving away from you. They're moving away from what you represent. They're running because when they look at you, they realize they could be further along too, but they're still standing in the same place. And your presence just makes that more obvious. La Rochefoucauld again. We avoid those who force us to see what we prefer to hide. The direction of movement says everything the mouth won't. Sign 3. The inverted mirror test. Until now, we've been looking outward, at other people, at who pulled away, who left you out, who treated you differently. Now flip it. This sign is the hardest because it's about you. Think of someone who bothers you, not someone who did something specific to you, someone who bothers you just by existing. Someone who, every time they come up, you feel something you can't quite name. An irritation, a discomfort that has no clear justification. That discomfort has a name, and it's the same mechanism, the same shadow, except now it's yours. Dostoevsky wrote a character in the 19th century who is terrifying in how relevant he still is. The underground man, a person too intelligent for his own good, who considers himself superior to everyone around him, and who spends his entire life justifying his isolation as proof that he's more clear-eyed than others. And Dostoevsky shows with surgical precision that the man's supposed clarity is the greatest illusion of all. Because he's not isolated because he's smarter. He's isolated because he's afraid, and the superiority is the mask he wears. So he never has to face that fear. We do this, I do this. There are days when someone irritates me and I'm completely certain the problem is them until I stop and I ask, is what I'm feeling coming from something this person did, or is it coming from something this person is something I wish I was? When the answer is the second one, that's my shadow. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has one. The difference is who pauses to look at it and who pretends they didn't see. So the 3 signs again. First, silent pattern or episode with a cause. Second, did the person move toward growth or toward comfort? Third, and this is the one that will genuinely change how you see people. Flip the mirror. Before you decide the problem is the other person, check whether the discomfort might be yours. Let's go back one last time to that photo. Friday night, your friends, the bar, you at home. Now you have the pieces. Now you know there's a mechanism that makes people pull away from someone who's growing, not out of malice, but because growth becomes a mirror, and mirrors are painful. You know that the shadow Jung described isn't an abstract concept from a psychology textbook. It's what's happening at that bar table, in that group that didn't invite you, in that friend who stopped replying to your messages. And you have 3 signs to separate what's a mirror from what's actual feedback. But I want you to look at that photo one more time, and instead of asking yourself, what did I do wrong? I want you to ask, if the roles were reversed, if it was Tom growing and I was the one standing still, would I have invited him? That question is more honest than any answer I could give you, because what Jung discovered isn't a theory about them, it's a theory about us, about how human beings work, about how each of us, me, you, Tom, Sarah, everyone, carries this mechanism inside. The person watching this video and thinking, I'm the one who was left out, I'm the one who grew, they just didn't evolve. Be very careful. Because Dostoevsky's underground man thought exactly the same thing, and it was the biggest lie he ever told himself. The goal isn't to walk away from this thinking you're better than the people around you. It's to walk away from this knowing how to read what's actually happening, knowing the difference between someone who pulled away because they can't handle the mirror and someone who pulled away because you need to hear something you don't want to hear, because both things exist. And the maturity is knowing how to tell them apart. Jung called this individuation, the process of stopping living behind the mask and starting to face who you actually are. He said it was the most important work a human being can do, not the easiest, not the most comfortable, the most important. And the hardest part of that work isn't understanding why people reject you. It's having the courage to ask when someone bothers you without any obvious reason, whether it might be your own shadow asking to be seen. Leave a like and drop your thoughts in the comments below. My name is Kobe, and this was After the Cave.